What is going on, everyone? My name is Jamon McKinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. I have a firm belief that the Jacksonville Jaguars will finish with the worst record in the NFL in 2020. When I did my Jacksonville Jaguars team preview and record prediction video a couple weeks ago, I had the Jaguars only winning 2 games in 2020. I'm going to stand by that statement. I had the Carolina Panthers only winning 3 games. I actually have the Jets only winning 3 games this year. I don't think the Giants are going to be overall that great this year. But the Jaguars, they're the worst team in all of football, in my opinion. And I don't think that's really up for debate. I have a theory that if you have the worst head coach and quarterback combination in your division, you will most likely finish last in your division. And sure, Doug Marrone in 2017 got the Jaguars to the AFC title game. But guess what? If you take away that season, Doug Marrone, as a head coach, is 27-39 for his career. 27 wins, 39 losses. That's not very good. And in his own division, Frank Wright, he's one of the most creative offensive minds in the entire NFL. He's a better head coach. He gets the most out of his players. Bill O'Brien, you can talk greasy about Bill O'Brien all you want. Bill O'Brien, for the last 6 years, has made the playoffs. And once Mike Vrabel benched Marcus Mariota, he got all the way to the AFC Championship game. Mike Vrabel's a good head coach. And when we look at teams in 2019 that finished last in their division, there's sort of a trend. Either those teams had the worst roster in their division, had the worst quarterback, or the worst head coach. And Gardner Minshew, I do believe that he's a solid tier 3 quarterback. Gardner Minshew showed some real promise last year as a rookie, especially as a late round pick, but I don't think Gardner Minshew is good enough to carry a bad roster. And the Jaguars, they have a bad roster. Last year, the teams that finished last in their division in 2019, Washington, Arizona, Detroit, Carolina, Miami, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Jaguars themselves. Do you notice a trend here? You notice a lot of teams that had the worst quarterback in their division. You notice a lot of teams that had very marginal rosters that weren't very good, and teams that weren't very well coached. The Jaguars, they fit that description. The Jaguars have one of the worst rosters in the entire NFL. Bad offensive line that, according to Pro Football Focus, is ranked 26th in the NFL heading into 2020. Sure, DJ Chark is a good player. Sure, D.D. Westbrook shows some promise. Sure, Laviska Shenault had a good career at Colorado, but it does not matter if your offensive line is bad, how good your wide receivers are. Look at Atlanta last year and look at Cleveland last year. Atlanta and Cleveland have some of the best weapons in the entire NFL, but they failed because their offensive line was due last season. The Jaguars have done a poor job of building around Gardner Minshew. The Jaguars really do not have a tight end to speak of outside of Tyler Eifert, who had one good season in Cincinnati. He's never had a 1,000-yard season. Not to mention Marcel Darius, A.J. Bouye, Jalen Ramsey, and Calais Campbell. They're all gone. All the good players from the Jaguars defense, outside of Josh Allen and a couple other players, are gone, okay? And looking at the Jaguars' schedule, it's brutal. They play Indianapolis twice this year. They play the Titans twice a year. They play the Texans twice this year. 2 of those 3 teams went to the playoffs last season, and you can make the argument that Indianapolis might become a playoff team if Phillip Rivers has a bounce-back season. You face Green Bay as well. You face Minnesota as well. You face Baltimore as well. 3 teams that made the playoffs last year. And I can make the argument that Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Miami, and the Bengals even, just flat out have better players. Joe Burrow's a real player. Did you see what the Dolphins did in the offseason, adding to their defense, adding to their offensive line? I think Tua is a better prospect than Gardner Minshew. There's no easy wins on the schedule for the Jaguars. I believe the Jaguars are a 2-win football team in 2020, and in reality, they will most likely be drafting for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields during the 2021 NFL Draft. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.